Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to go and tackle, is Metagross a powerful Pokemon in Pokémon UNITE? And the short answer is kind of, but we're gonna get into it in the video. I'm gonna present 4 points, 2 for and 2 against. And if that's what you're interested in, as I said, keep your butts glued to the seat and make sure you go get yourself a nice drink and enjoy the video with me. And if that isn't for you, leave a comment on what you'd like to see instead, like the video, sub to the channel, and, be on your merry way. Alright, I'm assuming all of you stayed because we're all here for Metagross, and let's get right into it. Sadly, the first point is going to be a point of why Metagross is not the greatest Pokemon in the game right now. And I think this is the most glaring issue, but it's struggling Unite move. When I see Metagross in the game, I think right away that this is a Pokemon that has so much potential to do so much damage, and then you have this Unite move. You get all these levels to get level 9, and you basically have a glorified Zen Headbutt that literally does less damage if there isn't free players on you. And even with the damage buff and the ability to get a cooldown reduction on kills off your Unite move, it is so poor. I feel like the Unite move's premise was so wasted on the ability to do so little damage. Like, of course, it's an amazing utility move and can work really well in a team setting, but for a Unite move, of like what it looks like, right? Like you're dashing in and you're causing a massive crater around you and it looks like you're gonna have this insane impact. It doesn't deliver on this premise. It looks awesome and then does absolutely nothing. And a lot of the time I feel like players are gonna go and default to using this as just, oh, okay, I'm just gonna get on whoever I can and then use the real moves, the real damaging part of this Pokemon, the auto attacks in the first move, to do the majority of the damage. And while that's okay as a playstyle and adaptation to what the game has presented us, I feel like this is a major weak point because a lot of other Pokemon rely on their Unite moves. You can imagine Delphox without its Unite move, it would not be anywhere near as powerful. Its Unite move is incredible. Gardevoir without its Unite move. Garchomp without its Unite move. All these Pokemon, I could keep going on and on and on. Unite move is the name of the game. It's Pokemon Unite, and if you're gonna have a bad Unite move, you're gonna want to have one like Blaziken that has, extra moves from it. Whereas this move, it's like, you're trading one of Blaziken's moves for like, what, a 70-second cooldown at the minimum. It's, a bit of a hard trade for me. I feel like this is the big struggling point of this Pokemon. Now, okay, on a positive note, good things are coming. What is a good thing about this Pokemon? Its mix of burst and sustain. If you're able to stay in a fight and not get completely one-shot, not get stunned out, this character is actually crazy. You have so much burst damage for a brawler, and the sustain you get from using your moves, being able to stun the opponents, being able to lifesteal, being able to heal and shield yourself over time. It's so good. Like, this Pokemon can become one of the biggest carries in the game if allowed to be. And that's why I love it. Its auto attacks are so crazy. They do so much damage, always giving that big crit effect. Feels super good to play it, and both moves in the second slot like really implement this effect with Zen Headbutt teleporting you to your enemy to continue the chase, and with Magnet Rise being able to literally float on top of the person and then drop down on them as well. I feel like it's so impactful in that sense, and it's really fun to play. That perfect burst and sustain for a bruiser, I really like it. Of course, it might be missing other things, and as you see in the gameplay, like look at this Unite move, like it can be good, but like, I think the other parts of the character really shine instead. And I really love that the critical strikes that you're getting on this Pokemon. It feels so good. All right, okay. Now that we got, 2 and 2, we're even. Another reason why I'm not in love with Metagross right now is it's a little bit too squishy and very reliant on not getting stunned. You're gonna watch throughout this gameplay and whenever you play Metagross that if you don't have any way to like reduce yourself from getting stunned, you feel very worthless. And it goes even further than that when you're getting kited, which is being able to, like, the opponent puts a position between you and themselves and permanently keeps that range, it feels atrocious. Like, if Magnet Rise can't catch up to the opponent with eject button or X speed or whatever you have to catch up to them, it's like almost like a pointless move. And if you have Zen Headbutt and you miss it, you're pretty much left for dead. And that can feel really bad when you play Pokemon Unite. It's one of the worst feelings to get completely mispositioned because you can't get onto your enemy. Of course, it's great and all when you can get on top of them and deal your damage, but if you can't, it's really, really rough. So getting kited is a major concern I have for this Pokemon and one of the biggest weaknesses of Metagross right now. Now, I haven't even gone too much into the getting stunned and getting chain stunned out of all your moves, But you're gonna literally watch, as I said, like, look at this gameplay right now. I can't move, I can't do anything, and I'm losing half my health for nothing. I can't do anything, and it is very frustrating to play into that. You can have all the shields you want, you can have all the moves, you can have so much damage, but if you have no reliable way to escape the stuns, and you're not bulky enough to survive them, your character is going to feel rather worthless in this metagame. And I don't want players to play, some of these characters and get like stunned and have the most terrible experiences of their lives. Even though that's what I sort of feel when I have as Metagross. You're just seeing, like, whenever I get stunned, I'm on the brink of death's door, and usually I can't do anything about it unless there's no damage near me. Now, of course, in this game, I'm playing Gyro Ball, which I feel like is underrated. I feel like it could be a lot better than what it is, but I haven't been able to give the chance to play it too much. I've been playing more Meteor Mash. And that one, while you get the shield, I feel like it's a little bit less reliant on the shields, and it's more about like bursting players down. Whereas Gyro Ball, I feel like it might be the better move in actually alleviating this weakness. But for me, this is a really, really bad weakness. It makes the Pokemon feels almost unplayable when it's getting these opportunities. And you can see even with the Blissey defending me and permanently protecting me, it's so hard to play when I'm permanently stunned. Now, of course, like, there could be a value in that if you can, redirect that energy. If you're getting stunned and your teammates can make something of it, it could be very strong and very powerful of this. But as I said, just with all double-edged swords, in this case, I feel like Metagross is really losing out, and one side is a lot sharper than the other. So, okay, now that's the second point for, why I don't think it's the best Pokemon in the game. Now, a point for why I think it's good, look, we don't have the greatest early game secure, and this is probably a laner, but it actually scales incredibly well into the game, and I believe Metagross is one of the highest potentials for a high-level Pokemon in the game. You're going to watch constantly these Metagrosses get to high level and start smacking you so hard. They're so powerful, and I really love this about the Pokemon. I really love that we can just stick onto someone, auto attack them a lot, get these shields, get the health. Like, it really feels like you're punishing the positioning of weaker attackers as an all-rounder, and I think that's the idea of this role. It feels like Serena, if Serena had a little bit more shields, and I honestly, it's just Metagross, and I really like this about it. I think the champion's identity is so perfect. Like, the Pokemon feels like how Metagross should be, right? Like this strong attacker that runs into the enemy team as he's a bulky guardian, but also like a genuine threat to the opposition. And that's what it can feel like at times when you get high level and you're a little bit of a raid boss. Of course, like you can see, when I'm getting chain stunned, it's absolutely terrible. But when I'm not getting chain stunned, the character feels so great. I'm getting shields, I'm on top of their team, it's really hard to deal with me. And you have all these abilities, like your whole idea is like you cage in the opponents. They're stuck in there with you. But I would say, like, right now, it's that stuck in there with you makes you sort of feel like you're stuck in there with them. And that's a pretty rough feeling. So as I said, I think the potential of Metagross is right there. It's so good. Like, if there was just some tweaks, it would be so nice. But yeah, like, these are probably the main weaknesses and strengths of Metagross. Now, as you can see, this beautiful team fight. I'm just getting stuns, moving away from the damage, and now you see the true value of what this Pokemon can be. But when I'm getting stunned, it's just almost unplayable. So, as you're thinking about it, now that I've summarized these two weaknesses, which is basically, I think that it's way too squishy and it's a bit too reliant on not getting stunned. And then, of course, it's Unite move, which is completely lackluster and like very low impact. Once you go through those two, I think we have two strengths as well, where the idea of the Pokemon is right. It has a lot of burst, it has a lot of sustain. It fits this bruiser role. It actually, if it isn't like getting stunned permanently, and if its Unite move was a bit better, you would really feel like when you cage a player, it's extremely high value and high impact. And it also has this extremely good identity. The Pokemon is like ironed down to the floor, I feel, in terms of its design. It really does want to be this caging Pokemon, this Metagross, like, this big raid boss that takes a whole team to deal with, and when he traps you in there, it's trapping you all together. But as of right now, I don't think that's entirely there, and I'm going to conclude with basically this. The flaws in this Pokemon, they're too present, and I wouldn't say it's a bad Pokemon, but it definitely isn't the strongest in the game, and despite having the potential to do some of the most incredible one-shots and have some of the funnest gameplay we've seen in Pokemon Unite, right now, the Unite move, it's just so underwhelming, and it's kind of the nail in the coffin for the Pokemon. I really wouldn't recommend Metagross unless you really love the Pokemon as a whole, and I would say, hey, look, wait this purchase out. you can wait for some buffs, or when you really have enough coins to spare to give this a go, because I feel right now it's just slightly missing the mark. Maybe with some buffs and a little bit more love, I think Metagross will see like a lot more playtime and be a more valuable Pokemon UNITE. But as of right now, it's just not entirely there. And as I said, if you want to know if Metagross is good or not, it probably isn't up to scratch compared to the meta Pokemon of the game. So I want to once again thank everyone. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and doing everything you can in 2023. We're approaching a brand new year full of wonderful content for Pokemon UNITE, so make sure you like the channel or like the video, comment down below what you want to see in 2024, and thank each other and thank you all for supporting me in 2023, and let's wish each other a merry 2024, and let's go into it with some good power and have a wonderful year. Okay everyone, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next vid.